Methods and principles of choosing modes of transport. Lecture class plan. The principle of choice of modes of transport by consumers of transport services. Methods of selecting modes of transport for passengers from station. Methods of efficient use of various modes of transport. General information. The choice of mode of transport is determined by passenger traffic measurements and the possibility of transporting passengers by the mode of transport. The hypertrophy of the private car fleet abroad has led to numerous disasters for residents of large cities. Currently, there is an acute shortage of parking spaces in cities in the United States, Western Europe, Japan, and Australia. In the cities of New York, Los Angeles, London, Paris, Brussels, Rome, Tokyo, Sydney, and others, underground and above-ground garages are being built. The problem of transportation of mass flows of passengers is related to the problem of increasing speed of communication. The solution to this problem depends on many factors. The ability to choose the right parameters for rolling stock and organize transportation correctly determines the success of solving this problem. It can be seen that the speed of the rolling stock structure does not use the technical capabilities of the design of any of them in comparison with the real speeds. The average operating speed is 2-3 times less than the design. These design parameters were incorrectly chosen, and think that we should abandon them in the future. Constructive opportunities to increase the speed of transport and not vice versa. Transport and traffic management related to the management of the transport system. The difference between design and actual speeds also depends on the nature of urban transport. For example, short distances and frequent stops, street conditions, and the manual influence of different vehicles have a great influence on the speed of transport. In cities with a large number of cars, specific highways are being built. The opposite of this problem is that to increase speed, you need to reduce the number of stops, parking time and stops, but this reduces the comfort of transport. If the number of stops on the route increases, the time for transporting passengers over long distances increases dramatically. In order to get out of this difficult situation, it is necessary to create two coordinated transport systems. That is, one of these systems will have to transit on a small route of intermediate stops with high speed, and the other a local route with a large number of intermediate stops. System 1 uses long-distance passengers and System 2 uses the opposite. In addition, the local system performs the functions of accompanying and carrying transit passengers. This system is used in a number of cities around the world. The metro or similar high-speed rail tracks were chosen as transit system, and bus lines serve as a local network in some cities. This system operates on a single metro system, meaning that transit trains pass through the entire stop, while local trains pass through all stops. For urban passengers, the question of the frequency of transport units on the road is of great importance. The lower the frequency between units on the same route, the shorter the waiting time for passengers. However, despite the increase in frequency, it is not economically feasible. To ensure high frequency with low passenger traffic, a smaller capacity of rolling stock should be used. With a high frequency of traffic becomes difficult, which of course negatively affects economic use, reducing the speed of movement. Therefore, the choice of traffic frequently should take into account all factors. This sequence of movement is important for saving people's time and related to ensuring comfort of passengers. Compliance with the sequence depends on the technical condition of transport, the state of power supply devices, and other elements. It also depends on the skill and discipline of drivers. Only on metro lines, the traffic sequence is maintained at a high level, and on bus, trolleybus, and tram line, the conditions are not always maintained due to the difficult situation. Great attention is paid to the improvement of control systems for traffic to increase the speed of the movement. To this end, improved electric traffic light systems are being introduced, measures are being taken to regulate the flow of cars and drivers. The unity of the transport system will determine the area of rational use of each type of transport. Introduce improved technologies, forms of interaction, coordinate the work of interacting modes of transport at the state level to speed up the transportation process and reduce costs. Zone special use any kinds of transport based on its technical and economic characteristics, location of transport infrastructure in the country, the time and cost of transportation. Market relations require the creation of methods for analyzing, planning, and implementing the work of participants in the transportation process, reducing the delivery time and cost of such necessary products and production. This method is logistics. For example, the optimal methods for managing material flows from the original producer to the consumer is management. Logistics allows you to determine the optimal balance between production and supply costs, stimulate the need for producers to be active in the markets, adapt to changing conditions due to seasonality, policy changes, and other factors that affect supply and demand. The most important concept of modern marketing is to determine the demand of consumers and to make a reasonable decision, which first of all involves studying the requirements of the market. That is, knowing the demand and the producing products in accordance with what item you can produce and sell. Marketing, transport marketing and transport is distinguished by the simultaneous use of transport services from other activities, and transport market has a large number of different types of transport consumers of their services. Therefore, these features indicate the importance of using marketing in the transport industry. Thank you for your attention.